Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kings of Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your co host, Pablo, and here's my co host.
Leo.
So, on this week's episode, we're totally going to do 360 or 180 or whatever you want to call it. So, this week's episode is going to have nothing to do with fantasy football. So, as we're gearing, towards the start of the season, we thought we'd take a little bit of a break and do an episode on pop culture. So we're going to talk about pretty much anything that is famous, as far as whether it be a TV show or a movie or anything that's popular right now. So we're going to start off, and this might be a little bit biased, but it's House of the Dragon. So, to our listeners who have no idea what House of the Dragon is, it is a prequel TV show set a few hundred years before the events of Game of Thrones. It is currently on its second season, and um, I'm I'm happy with the second season so far. I am a little bit shocked at the pace, though. I think as far as the pace of the show, it's a little bit too fast. Um, What do you think, Leo? You think the pace is fast or it's just right?
I've really been enjoying this season. You're the one that actually got me into my brother-in-law as well, but you're the you're the one that got me into Game of Thrones. So I saw it a couple years ago, and then when House of the Dragon came on, started watching that as well. The what I like what I really have been enjoying so far this season has been the both houses, the different points of view from each house, the house green and black. So it's just been interesting, that you don't, none of the seems like you can never trust any of the characters, being, Rhaenyra, that she's the queen. uh she she just can't trust anyone, it seems like, in her own circle. But yeah, it's been good. I like the pace so far, definitely. How about you?
So what I don't like is, I mean, even in Game of Thrones, some people kind of had opinions on the pace, meaning like they're in one part of Westeros, whether it be Dragonstone or something, and then like 10 minutes later they're in King's Landing. Um, and you know that's a little bit hard to grasp for me. Um, and I just think I would have thought that they would have spent more time um, kind of preparing the the main story that's going on in season two, which is the actual fighting and whatnot. Um, again, I think that it could have been a little bit slower, a little bit more of a build up. I think things got heated very quickly in this season, but I figured maybe again maybe
Yeah,
the show would have gotten a little bit slower. I know this season's only going to be like I think 8 episodes, so
yeah. The first season was like, to me, it jumped so fast. Like, I know, I go it's based on the books. I'm not a great reader, so don't ask for me for any scholar stuff from any readings. But the I really didn't. I like the when Rhaenyra was when she was young, like the actress that played her was, I loved her, the way she acted, um in that first season, the way, then it started jumping ahead, every few episodes, it was like, man, you're trying to get into starting to get into a rhythm with the show, and then okay, now we gotta get now move ahead a few years, and now this is what's going on. So that's it was it's fine. I got used to it, but I was kind of liked how it was just building up. When she was growing up. What's funny is this is obviously spoiler. I don't want to spoil any season two. But what's funny is that the first season when Chris Krista the knight that Rhaenyra wanted to get with him, right? And then he's I'm not gonna be your whore, and now he ends up being Allison's whore in the season, so which I find funny as hell.
Yeah,
But
there's
yeah,
a lot of people that don't like his character. I think as an actor point of view, I think that means you're doing a really good job. You know, people didn't like a lot of characters from Game of Thrones. Some of them still get a bad rap, when people see them in public. So I think that just shows how good that actor did,
yeah.
portray that character. Um, but yeah, he's getting some of the heat this season from what I've seen on social media.
Who's been your favorite character so
So
far?
let's kind of switch gears. Um, so far, I haven't really had a favorite character. I I kind of agree with you with that. Kind of like Rhaenyra, but this season so far, I haven't really had someone that's kind of been my favorite. But besides Rhaenyra, Damon, I think he's an interesting character for sure.
Yeah.
Um, let's kind of switch gears to Star Wars universe. So before we jump into, the most recent TV show, I do want to spend some time just kind of giving props on the Mandalorian era, meaning, since Mandalorian has comes out, I think Star Wars has been in a really good place. I think especially after this last trilogy, there was a lot of question mark from fans, and I think with Dave Filoni and um, his name Favreau, they've really taken the Star Wars universe in a good direction, in my opinion. Um, I think Pedro Pascal has been a slam dunk casting for Mandalorian. Um, I think Ahsoka really good. And I know for a lot of fans who were fans of the animated um, Clone Wars, they're probably really happy that they went to the live action route. Anything particular um, since Mandalorian that you liked, Leo, about Star Wars universe?
Well, I'm what's fun it's funny you said that, some people like the Star Wars and stuff like that. Um I think it kind of depends. I love anything about Star Wars. Uh I come from a time from 1980, because I'm pretty old already. So, but there was a time from 1983 that there was no movies, no shows, no nothing until until 99 or when the Phantom Menace came out. So it was a long time between anything. So for us to, I consider us, as Star Wars fans, lucky to have all this different types of media now. The obviously the books, with the High Republic, the shows, all the live action shows has been great. You know, some are better than others. It's that's how it is. I know there's a lot of been with the new show, The Acolyte, has been kind of abrasive a little bit between some of the fans. Some fans hate it, some love it. To me, I, you know, I don't take Star Wars so serious. Some people take it way too seriously. For me, I just I just like it as an escape, from our everyday life, living, in a galaxy far, far away. Eh, in terms of the Mandalorians, since the Mandalorians come out, to me it's been a great bridge between the the original trilogy to the sequels. There was like a big gap of like 35 years in between. So it's been nice to visit that era of Star Wars. A lot of it would have been nice, like I said, all those years back to see Luke Skywalker in his prime. You know, just being a Jedi. Well, how was that time? It would have been nice to see. So at least we saw him do a couple cameos in the Book of Boba Fett and also in the Mandalorian. That last episode of season 2 of the Mandalorian is like to me one of the best episodes of any Star Wars show, hands down. When he came out at the end, he had like that Darth Vader rogue moment, that he just came and took care of all those those the dark troopers. So Mandalorian's been awesome. That first season, it was cool. It was mainly about him, and then now in the second season, they started bridging out. They started bringing in other, start tying it more to the lore of Star Wars. Back to the Clone Wars of Bo-Katan, Ahsoka, different things like that. So it's cool, that like I said, it's been a bridge that he's branching out, tying all the the prequels to the original trilogy, to the sequel trilogy. So it's been very enjoyable for sure.
Now, do you have any high expectations for this Mandalorian Star Wars movie that they are going to do? I think it's going to be called The Mandalorian and Grogu, if I'm not mistaken. Um, do you expect it to pretty much wrap up any plot points or anything that they have started since the first season of Mandalorian?
I'm definitely looking forward to it. What makes me happy is that John Favreau is the one that's gonna be directing it. To me, he's one of the better directors of our generation. What he's done. When Iron Man, that first Iron Man movie came out, that was groundbreaking. So I'm very I have confidence in him, and that that's gonna be a story, you know, to and I think it's a smart move on Star Wars slash Disney to make that first movie, you know, Mandalorian with Grogu. Like that's like the most popular show out there, probably the most popular characters right now, and it's a smart move on their part. Those last movies that the Rise of Skywalker, and like I said, those sequel trilogies, they like it was like hit and miss. Like I said, I enjoyed them all. But some people hated it. Some people hate anything that's Disney done. A lot of people hate it. But to me, I've really enjoyed it. It's gonna be uh, definitely like the Mandoverse that they're doing. It's gonna tie into the also probably setting up that movie that Filoni's gonna do. With the with everything together, tying with Ahsoka and our everything together. So that's gonna be interesting in a few years. But I definitely think it's a smart move on their part to for the first movie to be Grogu and um and Mandalorian back in the theaters, the first movie. So definitely looking forward to it. I have confidence in Favreau for sure. What about you? What do you think about it?
I think it's going to be interesting. Kind of like you called it, the Mandoverse. Them being able to connect these shows has been really cool for me to see. I kind of compare it to like the Marvel Cinematic Universe to where I thought Boba Fett and Mando and Ahsoka would kind of all be like standalone. Um, but you can tell that they had an idea, um, and it's fit really well to kind of connect all these TV shows, um, and kind of gearing up for the movie, for this next trilogy that they have announced. Um, what I, whatever direction they go to, as far as the trilogy movies, I do hope that they continue to do like stories that may not be as popular, for people who are really into the Star Wars universe. So like this Acolyte show is, hundreds of years before Phantom Menace, and it's really cool to see, um, a different side of the Jedi, that we've never seen before. Um, so I think that if they continue to go again into these not so popular stories, so like Mandalorian, at least when I grew up, all I ever wanted to be was a Jedi, and then now the Mandalorian is really popular. It's like maybe it would be really cool to be a Mandalorian too. So, especially like you said, having a bridge, maybe kids now they're not only wanting to be Jedi, they're wanting to be Mandalorians as well. So again, I think that if they continue to do these stories that may not, be as popular, it still may become a big hit because I'm sure when they did Mandalorian, they never thought it would be this big. Um, which brings us to our next subject that has been, I would say, on a not so popular trajectory, which is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I think over the last few years, critics have not been happy with the content that Marvel has been creating. Disney CEO has even said that they're going to do less shows, less Marvel. Um, and I think this upcoming Deadpool movie is probably going to be the tipping point. I think if it does well, um, Disney may change their mind and be like, okay, well, we still can have Marvel as the cash cow per se. But I think if it doesn't do well, then they may continue with that. Again, the thought of doing less Marvel content. Do you think Deadpool can kind of save this, like I said, this downward trajectory that we've been seeing?
Well, as per, as per Deadpool, he's the Marvel Messiah, right? So, um, I think yeah, this movie is going to be very telling, probably for the future. It's not only it's the only Marvel movie coming out this year, but it's a rated R movie on top of that. So be able to get the kids. You shouldn't be taking your kids to see this movie, but um, parental guidance is suggested, as I say, right? But I think to me, I'm so looking forward to this movie. The Wolverine is one of my favorite characters. Other than Spider-Man, Spider-Man's my favorite superhero, and Wolverine is like a close second. So, and Deadpool, those first two movies that he did, they were like pretty interesting. Like when you see um, just all the bad words he says, and he's quick-witted, all that. It's just it was very entertaining for sure. I actually saw both of them recently just to get ready for the new movie, and even I even went back and there was some X-Men movies that I didn't see, so I caught up on all that, and so I'm very looking forward to it. Looking at the trailers, it does seem like if I suggest that you should probably see Loki, season 1 and 2, because it does show like you know, spoiler alert, don't listen. But you know, if you haven't seen Loki, but it looks like it is tied to that with you know, with the TVA and all that stuff. So I would definitely try to check out Loki before you see this movie. Um, and like I said, it's gonna be a very like you said, tipping point for Marvel going forward. You know, to try to set up things for the future. You know, it's gonna be very interesting to see. You know, I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of cameos in this movie, setting up things for the future. So, but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it for sure.
So since you mentioned that Spider-Man is your favorite, do you think that if they end up doing Infinity War, which I don't know if they will go into that that direction, do you think he can lead the whatever new
If
Avengers if they end up calling them that?
if if they do what? I'm sorry.
Infinity War?
I didn't really say
Or no, not
if they do
Secret
what.
Wars, sorry. If they do Secret Wars.
Should they do Secret Wars? Or if they or you mean the Avengers
No, I'm
movie that's
saying
coming out,
like
Secret Wars?
if they do yeah, like if they do Secret Wars, do you think Spider-Man can be the leader? Like they're kind of saying he might be. Essentially, he's going to
I
be the new leader of the
the new
Avengers.
I think he's a character that could be. You know, I think in the last well, the Far From Home, you know, they were kind of planting the seeds with that. You know, with Tony Stark leaving you know, Peter Parker with the, you know, Spider-Man with the glasses with all the, you know, that controlled everything. You know, so I think they started planting the seeds on that. You know, he's just always been a person that wanted to uh you know, wanted to be private. You know, then you know the last episode, not episode, sorry, the last movie, uh, No Way Home was amazing. You know, seeing all those you know, the old Tobey Maguire with Garfield, all of them together. That was one of the one of the better movies. Endgame, Infinity, you know, if Infinity War, those two are like up there, and I think No Way Home is not that far behind. But yeah, definitely, I think he can be one of the uh, leaders of the Avengers moving forward for sure.
Now since you mentioned Toby and the other Spider-Mans, there are some rumors that they may do another Spider-Man with Toby, because of the I guess good reception of them being in the Spider-Man movie with who's his name? Spider-Man's actor's name, new one.
Oh, Andrew Garfield and Tobey
Oh
Maguire,
no, not Andrew.
Scott Holland.
Tom
You mean
Holland.
the
So
Scott
yeah,
Holland?
sorry. So
That's okay.
with Tom Holland's
Tom Holland. Tom
latest
Holland.
version, and he was they got a really good reception. So rumors are that they may do some other Spider-Man movies with Andrew and Toby, and I think you know that may be a good idea. Again, especially with Toby, because that was like what I grew up with. So seeing him again in a standalone, that would be cool. And I think this last Venom movie is going to be interesting. Um, I think ending his story with with a bang, should be good. Um, I think Tom Hardy has done a really good job as Venom.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Do you think Venom's curtain call is gonna be good?
I think so. I still need to see the second one. I haven't seen the second one yet. The first one was really good. That was pretty interesting. The I think he's done well, definitely as a Venom. You know, playing the character Venom. Um, hopefully they tie a little bit more into the MCU with that. He did do a cameo at the end of No Way Home. So maybe that's something to look forward to, having maybe Peter Parker and showing up there. So it should be interesting. It's definitely it's definitely gonna be better than Madam Web.
I still have not seen
Me either.
Madam Web. I
Me
I
either.
heard, not so good things about it. I think
Yeah, I heard it's a train
the
wreck.
actresses that they got all have talent. I just think that um, maybe just some of the choices as far as either director, writer kind of combination,
Yeah,
um, we kind of just didn't come together as they may have planned.
yeah.
Um, I do want to kind of throw in a curveball here. Did you know, and I only found this out because of TikTok, that Thanos's um, journey in the comics as far as the Infinity Stones was way different than what we saw on screen?
No, I wasn't. I'm not too much into the comics, like reading them, so it's possible. Yeah, I'm sure. uh,
The
what I know with the comics, they get some ideas and obviously they elaborate things, but yeah, no, I don't know.
It was really interesting as far as kind of seeing what he does in the comics versus what he does, what we saw. But that actually reminded me of something that has really bugged me, and I want to see, and I think I'll tell you all the time, but how have they not mentioned the Celestial sticking out of the ground for like how many things have we seen Marvel since then? And nothing has mentioned it. There's
Yeah,
not been
the
one reference.
yeah the from the Eternals, you mean? Those
Yeah,
guys?
like
Yeah.
it's just been chilling, sticking out of the earth, and nobody has gone to like test it. No, no breaking news. Like
Yeah,
it's just
yeah. I think what happened with Marvel is that they started going away, from their bread and butter, the main the main characters, Spider-Man, Thor, Iron Man, and Hulk, even though Hulk hasn't had his own movie, he's always part of another movie, but they try to expand on certain things, and unfortunately that didn't work. Like that movie, The Eternals, I think probably would have helped, like setting it up a little bit more, like maybe with maybe like a TV show to each, because there were like so many characters at one time. They try to cram everything into one movie, and I think it hurt it. Because it had some nice parts, whatever, but it was just too much and one movie to get through. Maybe they should have did in parts of it, or something like part one, part two. I don't know. It was just a lot to cram into a movie. So and then after that, it just a couple of the shows didn't. The Secret Invasions was bad. It was, I don't know what happened there. I do like some of the shows that they have come out. Like Loki was really good. I like Miss Marvel. She-Hulk was something different, breaking the fourth
yeah.
wall and stuff
Uh-huh.
like that. But what I did like about the last movie I think that came out from Marvel was the Marvels. I thought it was pretty, not a lot of people didn't like it, but I thought it was excellent because it was giving, tying uh Miss Marvel with Captain Marvel and Photon, the girl uh from the Scarlet Witch's show. So it was cool. It was cool to see them being bonded together, with their powers of light. So it was and what I do like the little hints. I don't know if you guys seen the movie or not, or the Marvels, but if, at the end of the credit, there's a nice thing to see there
That was
of them.
man, that was really
Of that,
cool to see
yeah,
those credits.
Yeah. So
Um,
they're trying to plant some seeds, try to build maybe the young Avengers, little by little.
yeah. So before we wrap things up, the one last thing I want to say is I really do hope that they don't cancel the Blade movie because man, that poor project has gotten so many setbacks, and
Yeah.
I think his last name is like Ali or something. The actor they got for Blade, I think he would be really good. So I hope that they end
Yeah.
up, not canceling it.
Yeah, that first
So
that first Blade movie with Wesley Snipes was pretty badass. I must say,
yeah,
when that first scene, anytime I hear that song, from that Blade movie, that trance
yeah.
music is like it's amazing, man. It's a really good movie.
So again, hope that they don't cancel it. So um, like to our listeners, again, this is a totally different direction. We just want to take a little bit of a break from the fantasy topic, but rest assured, the rest of this month, we are going to essentially be doing mock drafts. We're going to have some guests on our show for the mock drafts to make it better instead of the computer just doing picks. So for anyone who is interested in joining, feel free to reach out to us on X or leave a comment on YouTube, wherever you're. Um, might actually live stream it as well. But that is going to be essentially our plans for the next few episodes. Hope you guys like this. Again, different direction of pop culture, and if we get some people listening to it, and you guys like it, and we made squeeze these types of episodes here and there. Um, Leo, any closing comments?
Thank you guys for so much for listening. If you like the show, give us a follow, rate the show. It helps us with everyone. If you also have any questions of pulp culture or fantasy football, you can reach me on X at Smooth1074. And then right back at you, Pablo. Any closing words for you?
Yeah, if you wanna again reach me on X as well, it's at ArtReaper, so ArchReapr. Recently started a fantasy football Discord as well, so I will start posting the link on my tweets. Other than that, again, thank you for tuning in, and see you next week.
Peace.